For 15 long years, Omolade's womb remained quiet. She married Peter at 22, full of life and dreams, with eyes that lit up whenever he looked at her. Their wedding was a celebration that filled the village of Apori with joy. Drums thundered, women clapped and danced, elders prayed over them, and the air smelled of jollof rice and fresh palm wine. Everyone knew Peter adored Omolade. He would tell her, even if the sky falls, it must not land on you. But as months became years, and years crawled into a decade, whispers began to creep in like termites, gnawing at the walls of her happiness. Why hasn't she given him a child yet? All that beauty and nothing to show. Maybe she offended the gods. Omolade heard them. At the markets, at church, even at family gatherings. They never said it to her face, but their eyes told the story. And once bright laughter grew softer. The woman, who used to sing while sweeping the compound, now spent evenings sitting quietly, staring at the mango tree in the backyard, as if it might whisper answers. Peter stayed patient, shielding her from the worst of the pressure. But one person's disapproval never softened: his mother, Mama Felicia. Mama Felicia had never hidden her dislike. From the very first day, she made it clear she wanted Peter to marry Remilekun, the daughter of a wealthy cocoa merchant, not a school teacher from Ilaro. When no child came, Mama Felicia treated it as proof that Omolade was a mistake. She pretended to help, bringing so-called fertility herbs and special tea from a mountain healer. But what Omolade didn't know was that the tea was laced with a powder from a native doctor meant to block conception. "You will never tie my son to yourself with a child," Mama Felicia once whispered to herself as she stirred the pot. Years passed. Doctors said nothing was wrong. Pastors told them God's time is best. Herbalists urged patience. Omolade hoped one thing, but she still prayed. One stormy night, when her strength felt gone, she went outside and knelt under the mango tree. Rain soaked her clothes, but she didn't care. She lifted her face to the sky and cried, from a place so deep even words failed her. "God, am I a stone? Even Sarah, you remembered. Even Hannah, you answered. Why not me?" A few weeks later, Mama Felicia fell sick. She couldn't speak properly. Her mouth twisted, and her eyes looked heavy with a strange weight. People thought it was a stroke, but when she was taken to a prayer house, Prophet Juwan shook his head. "This is not sickness," he said. "It's a confession tying her tongue." The whole room froze. 3 days later, Mama Felicia began to speak in broken words. "I did it. I stopped her. I didn't want her to have his children." Peter staggered back, his face pale. "You mean for 15 years you've been the one?" Omolade stood still. She didn't shout. She didn't curse. She simply walked outside, sat in the rain again, and wept silently. After the confession, something changed. 3 months later, Omolade missed her period. 6 weeks later, the doctor smiled. Not just one baby, two, and they're in separate sacks. It was twins. The news spread like fire. Songs were made about her. Women danced in the streets. Peter, now with streaks of grey in his beard, sang lullabies to her belly every night. 9 months later, she gave birth not just to one pair of twins, but two. Two boys and two girls. A double portion. As if God was paying her back for every tear she had cried. At the naming ceremony, Omolade stood before the crowd, her face glowing. "These children are Ifeoluwa, Ireti, Ayotunde, and Temiloluwa, because God love found me. My joy returned, and my shame turned to glory." Mama Felicia, now frail, sat quietly in the corner, tears streaming down her face. After the ceremony, she came to Omolade and held her hands. "My daughter, I am sorry." Omolade looked at her with soft eyes and said, "You tried to block the river, but when God digs a well, no one can stop the water." From that day, Omolade's story became a testimony for women across the village. Her life was proof that delay is not denial, and that no human hand can close the door God has opened. The moral lesson for this story is that bitterness may delay blessings, but no evil can stop destiny when God decides to remember a weeping soul with joy. This is the end of this story. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up and share with your friends. Subscribe and hit the bell for updates. Let us know where you are watching us from in the comments.